You're listening to Empire of Rust, the world's first and only Transformers RPG podcast. Join the heroes of Iacon as they defend Cybertronian civilization from the remnants of Cybertron First to Lord Starscream's egotistical leadership, and beyond to the unknown threats on the other side of distant stars.
Welcome back to Empire of Rust, the one and only Transformers RPG podcast. And I have got to tell all of you guys, my throat is killing me. We just came off of another game that we were playing earlier today, and my head hurts, my throat's on fire, my face hurts from smiling too much. How does your face hurt from smiling too much? Yoshi, has your face ever hurt from smiling too much?
It does.
All the smiling you do every day?
All the smiling I do every day. As you guys know, I'm funny. And as you know, if you live with me, like my wife does, you don't laugh at my jokes as much. So I have to put in 10 times the effort. And most of the time I crack myself up and I'm just done.
Nice. See, I'm laughing now and my face is hurting again. My face is hot right now. I can actually feel like the fever on it. It's ridiculous.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Pat.
Yes.
Pat. We haven't talked to you at all about your character yet, have we?
We have not.
I don't do segues anymore. I just jump right on in.
And you know what? I appreciate the I appreciate that. Like if a segue just naturally arises, then awesome. But you
don't want to just swerve suddenly.
Yeah, it's like speaking of which, my character. What? No.
We weren't talking about this at all, were we?
Exactly.
All right. No, take it over, Pat. We've talked about Matt's character. We've talked about Monty. We've talked about Yoshi's character, Shatter, but we haven't really talked about your character at all. So go ahead and regale us. What are you playing over here? What's the fun stuff?
Okay. Well, I guess the simple stuff is race. I am a Camian, so that's kind of neat because like part of their racial identity is that they're very energy efficient, and so since I'm a weapon, that's kind of cool that I'm like, oh, I'm actually good at taking care of my own ammunition, so to speak. My class is something called an outlier. It's as close to it's effectively the caster class for Transformers. Obviously, there is no magic that I'm aware of.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, it's pseudoscience, and it's got a very interesting mechanic that I'm still trying to figure out. Like it doesn't have the same kind of like progression by level. So like you could be like, oh, you're really high level and you still only have first level powers, or you could get like, I think I tracked it out and I was like, oh, you could get access to like the highest level powers, which are like 6th level spells effectively at level 9. And it's like, oh, like that's I'm still figuring it. One of the things I do is I break systems. Like I'm like, where are the edges?
That's totally true.
Yeah, it's how my mind works. So that's fascinating, and I could definitely say that I made this character specifically for like this one shot. Because, like, if I was actually playing a character that had some longevity, I would have done a totally different build, But, this is showcasing. It's the whole point. My form is Weapon Former, so I can turn into a weapon. And as I hope has been coming across, like, when it works, it kills. And, like we've all seen, like, the Megatrons and the Galvatrons and the Shockwaves and that kind of stuff. But, like, I actually chose to be a melee weapon. And it's been pretty fun, but only because I've been like lovingly held, and I thank you for that.
You're only as good as your wielder, sir.
That's true. What is steel compared to the hand that wields it?
Yeah, first outlier, or first PC outlier, and first PC weapon former we've had on the network, so...
It's actually very interesting because obviously with all of these classes, there's like many builds or paths that you could go. And a very natural one would be something like Soldier Weapon Former, because you can actually add all of your like skills and bonuses to your wielder, so you just kick ass. But the fact that I'm playing someone who's terrible at that, like, outliers are like, they're awful at combat, but the powers that I've specifically chosen, like the fact that I could give it to my wielder, that's an interesting dynamic that we didn't anticipate, so that's been kind of fun to explore.
Nice. Well, speaking of that kind of like big, like weapon hits, that's what you did at the end of the last session. You had you and Shatter had a massive hit. So you crit a swarm of lipoles. Now, we didn't really talk about it too much last session, but if you remember the Five Faces of Darkness series, the first episodes of Season 3 of the Gen 1 cartoon, you may remember when Blur and Wheelie are on Io, and those bat creatures start coming after them, and they and after a while they transform into these like weird little like mini bombs, and they drop down and they detonate and they destroy everything around them. That's what a lipole is, and that is what you guys were facing. And if you didn't just destroy these things so quickly, that's what they were gonna do once they hit low hit points, like 10% of the hit points. They would have transformed into little mini bombs and detonated all around you.
So they're like space lemmings?
Yeah. Yes. Space lemmings. Splemmings.
Space bees that sting you and then die.
So yeah, I'm sure all of you were wondering what happened with that big hit, because we ended right when the damage was dealt. Yes. Shatter and Caliber, the two of you together, completely wipe out, almost 100% health. Swarm, you wipe it out in one hit.
We're sorry we've questioned your role as a DM.
He does not speak for me.
He's not sorry.
Yeah, I do.
It's a one-shot, Pat. We're okay.
Space rocks fall, everyone dies. Alright, so when last we left, these adventurers? Heroes? Question mark?
I was going to say chumps.
Chumps. Rubes. Suckers. So yes, all of you were making your way across a broken debris field on your way over this enormous broken planet and heading to a building, a floating building in orbit around this ruined world. And that was really the only place that you could head to.
Are we talking like the end of the Never-Ending Story kind of broken? Like, is it like that kind of building?
I don't actually recall what that looks like.
It's actually this absolutely beautiful kind of like castle, glowing castle where the childlike empress was in, but like because of the nothing, it effectively torn the world apart. It was just floating in space, kind of.
Yeah, the building is fairly, at least from what you're seeing, it looks fairly solid, like fairly put together still. It's not like falling apart or anything, but it does look like it is just floating kind of in space over here. So the building itself doesn't look ruined, thankfully.
If I haven't done it already, I release Pat so he can be a robot again.
No, you hold on to him for a little while, right?
It's been 2 weeks since we've played. I'm done touching him.
That's what they all say.
I'll also disconnect the cable from Monty, so I will not be swinging him around anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Improvised rabbit weapon. All right. You're going to continue heading forward. You're going to continue heading along this path?
Certainly.
Yes.
So again, most of the gaps are fairly manageable. It's only about 4 or 5 feet or so. So it's not difficult or anything to make it from section to section here. If you remember, there was 2 sections that were a little bit harder to manage. You cleared 2 larger gaps before, and you have 2 larger gaps heading further on. Now, if I remember right, you dealt with the ones last time by simply attaching a cable over to Monty. And Monty, how did you approach this? How did you?
I just flew it over and attached it somewhere. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yep, sounds about right. So I'm assuming that that's what you're going to be doing for the next couple of gaps as well. You have a 20-foot gap coming up to clear, so that one's no problem. The only one that's still a little bit iffy is the last big gap before you get close to the building you're heading towards, and that was a 50-foot gap. Do you have enough cable to make that gap?
If I remember correctly, forgive me, I don't remember your name, the tow truck has 180 or something like that.
Yeah, scrap heap. I have a 300-foot cable line on my winch in my truck mode.
It's kind of important now. Maybe we can remember Scrap Heap's name. I mean, that's the least respect we can give him at this point.
So you keep your winch on a long leash, it sounds like.
Actually, I believe I just said it so everyone could see everyone's nameplates.
Caliber.
Look at that.
Oh, there we are.
It's Caliber, 10th of my name. It's often mistranslated though. Like the humans didn't get it.
So yeah, with 300 feet of cable, that is more than enough to take care of that. So, Scrap Heap, you transform into your tow truck mode, and I'm sure someone hooks up the cable to Monty, and you fly it over.
This is such just a silly thing. There's these big gravity rocks floating around, and you're a tow truck, and we're using literally winches just to go from rock to rock. That's goofy.
Just like an episode of G1, huh?
When in Rome.
Hey, you know what? You guys could have tried making actual jumps across this. I had DC set for it, but
I can fly. I don't need that.
You went with the safer method.
Let's save all our good rolls for combat.
I was going to say, that's what I do in the real world, so I'm just kind of conditioned to do that. I'm like, could I jump out the 3rd-story window, or could I use the stairs? I think I'll use the stairs today.
Maybe tomorrow, Keep your options open.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's another day.
As you approach the structure, you look down onto the ruined planet to see something moving over it. It looks like that.
Oh, it's like a metal boule.
That's big.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even know how big. It's a vast mechanical creature the size of a small moon, crawling over the surface of the world.
Oh, those are mountains.
It looks to be eating the remnants of the planet and secreting out the crystalline substance that's holding the world together like an enormous spider.
That's a thing. Yeah, that's...
I have no words.
Can I do I have any cultural reference for this? Can I make a check to...
You can go ahead and make a mysticism check if you'd like.
Clearly, it's a world Weber. Duh. Oh, shit. Natural 20 on mysticism. That is a 31. It's a world Weber.
All right.
Yeah, I think. I made no one. I got a 6.
I was rolling for myself because that's actually the reason I'm in the party.
Fair enough. Charles, you weren't aiding or anything, were you?
No, I mean I didn't even get a chance to roll, so I defer to Caliber's 31.
Oh, that's too bad. The DC was a 33. Ah, motherfucker.
DC was the range of 28 to 29.
Oh, I overshot it. I hate that.
You overthought it. Too much overthinking.
All right. Oh man, that'd be awesome. With a 31, you definitely have heard of things like this. And this kind of creature is really only spoken about in myths and legends. It's never has one been seen in real life. So this is a first for everyone. First for you, definitely.
Recording. Video or it didn't happen.
Can we take digital? Our optics are all equipped with like internal camera and video sensors, right? Can we just snap some pics?
As long as you bought a camera, sure.
Yeah, it's right. It's right next to my. It's right next to my flashlight.
So this is an ancient creature called the Mouth of Mortilus.
Oh.
It's a creature that lives beneath the surface of worlds and eats through the metal of the planet. So like ore deposits and stuff like that. It will consume them until it'll consume all the metal within the planet until it starts losing its structural integrity and the planet itself just starts to break up.
Oh, so it's a boule. That's amazing. Yeah, and it looks like one too. That's funny. So Mortilus is that the god of death for Transformers, if I recall correctly?
Yes, that is. So he is one of the guiding hand, the 5 original Transformers, from whom all Transformers were sprung, born, whatever. That's according to some myths and legends. So Primus was the first Transformer, and his guiding hand was Mortilus, Epistus, Adaptus, and Solemnus. So Epistus was the god of knowledge, Solemnus god of wisdom, and Adaptus was the god of transformation. And Mortilus was the bringer of death to continue the cycle of life.
Does he have like a positive aspect as well? Like, is he also like rebirth and renewal, or is he just death?
He was, but according to legend, he became corrupted and betrayed the other 4 of the guiding hand, and that's why he's no longer he's no longer revered, because he became obsessed with death and wanting to destroy the entire universe, and so the other 4 of the guiding hand had to destroy him. And in their ensuing battle, one of Cybertron's moons was destroyed, and then the other 4 were critically wounded, where Primus's body was destroyed, and he basically had to be integrated into the core of Cybertron and became Vector Sigma. And Solemnus became the Matrix of Wisdom. Adaptus became the first transformation cog, and then his design was patterned on all future Transformers. And Epistus was reduced to nothing but a brain module, and his brain module design was what is all other future Transformers were based on.
Is the second to the last one, is that the thing that makes combiners? The transformation.
Epistus. The transformation cog is what every Transformer has that allows them to transform. So there's also a thing called Rossum's Trinity, where Rossum was a scientist who coined this thing where the spark, the brain module, and the transformation cog are the 3 core components of every Transformer. And if you destroy one, that injures the other 2 and can potentially kill the Transformer. So those 3 components are what a Transformer needs to live, and if you destroy any one of them, they can die. But that's not totally true, because Transformers can remove their transformation cogs without killing themselves.
That actually is what happened to me. Mine was damaged while I was on Earth, so I was stuck in my alt form for centuries. But
really?
Yeah.
You've been to Earth?
Yeah, we discussed this last time. It's okay. Yeah, I was stuck underground, and what was her name? This one lady that kept giving me to people. I don't know. She was
okay, Caliber, huh? Caliber.
Yeah, tenth of my name.
I still think that you're no basis of a system of government.
Hey, I'm just the gavel. You know, I'm not the judge. But yeah, no, I was like, my transformation cog was damaged and stuck in this rock for a little while.
Hey, Mike, can I make an observation?
Go for it.
So I'm looking at this planet, or this moon-sized thing walking across a planet.
Oh, you want to get relevant again?
I know.
Is this thing like? Does he appear sloth-like, and we could travel unimpeded, or does he seem limber and quick like a bunny, and we should be fearing for our lives?
Moving a little bit on the slower side. It's also massive too, so even if you stood on it, you probably would. It probably wouldn't even notice you. When I say the size of a small moon, like think of like the size of like Phobos or Deimos. Like these are planets that are, you know, effectively, I forget the exact size, but I think like one is like 6 miles around, the other is like 12 miles around or something. It's like that size. So it's the size of
Transformer Leviathan, basically.
Yeah.
How big was Unicron? Was he like hundreds of miles, or was he just like a couple of miles?
It all depends on the fiction you're reading.
Right. I guess
Depends on the shot in the movie too. Which
what's
the
the consensus? Because like,
Well, I mean, he was planet size, so I mean, bigger than a moon, I would say, at least as big as Cybertron.
because I remember like he ate that one planet in the beginning of the movie, and he was like, oh, he was like he was bigger than it. But then when he's fighting alongside Cybertron, like he was much smaller than Cybertron. But like if he was standing on it, you're like, oh, he's like the little prince, you know.
He ate both of Cybertron's moons.
Right, but they're moons, you know.
See, I always kind of imagine Unicron as a fairly small planet, like not this like giant like monstrosity like a Saturn or anything. Like I would imagine him smaller than Earth, like maybe the size of like Earth's moon or something like that. Maybe even a little bit smaller.
Mars, perhaps.
Maybe. I mean, still frigging massive, but
You guys need to keep in mind, you know, the most recent version of Unicron we've seen sits on Charles's file cabinet.
So Charles
That's no
is
moon.
way bigger than he looks.
Yeah.
that's no moon. That's a filing cabinet.
Yeah, the camera takes off several million metric tons.
You look good for a planetary body.
And your planetary body
working
looks
out.
good too. All right, anyway. All right, so that is what you see when you look down on the planet. Now, it's far enough away that you don't think it's going to like jump up at you and bite you or anything, or just chomp you down in one thing.
Would it even notice us? We're like ants to it.
Yeah, exactly. You could stand on its back, and it would probably never notice you. But this is what you're seeing, kind of like roaming across the remnants of this planet.
I guess we just gotta hope that we're really, really far away from Cybertron.
We're not headed to this planet though. We're headed to the floating castle thing, right?
Right.
Is there only one of these things? Is this like, or is it like kind of like a spawn of Robogug sort of situation?
Yeah, you're only seeing one.
Okay.
You're talking about
in
whether
mythology, yeah. Like, is it like, oh, there's the 4 planet eaters, and you're like, oh, okay, well, here's one of them, or is it just like, this is the one?
there could be many.
Okay.
I mean, there could be several hundred over the course of the galaxy. But I mean, you can go your entire life without ever seeing one because they're not common.
Are we unwittingly on one at the moment?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Goddamn right it is, and it needs to be answered, Mike.
Give me a life science check.
Let me aid you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to aid me, like all the way from the roll to the end here.
I got a 29, so what's that, plus 4?
Plus
So
4.
I have a 13, so I add plus 2.
19 plus 2.
I am 10 plus nothing.
Plus 10, or plus 8 total.
So 18.
It doesn't look like what you're walking on is alive.
There's one way to find out. I'm going to transform again. I don't want you to stab me into the ground. I've done this whole being stuck in rocks thing. I do it pretty good.
All right, I take you in my hands.
You don't want to just say, is there a bomb over here?
You alive?
No. We just go off the motion. So I hold the sword with one arm in the air, and I scream, "I have the power!" And then I slam it into the ground with pointy end first.
Good distinction.
Thank you.
Caliber, you go straight into the ground, almost all the way up to your hilt.
Oh, that feels good.
And the planet goes, ow.
Ouchie.
And nothing happens.
Okay.
And we find the Holy Grail.
Do I get cool points for any of that?
Oh, yeah, totally.
No, but you are king now.
So it's funny. So Merlin's symbol is actually a gray skull. So that's actually wonderful because you just power of gray skull.
Yes, I
do. All right.
That's our move. That's what we'll call our move is grace.
I was actually I had this thought before we started playing. I was just going to be like, oh, actually, like the nature, like my power actually doesn't work unless you say that, and I would actually make you say it and then just not use my power until you did. Obviously, it's completely untrue, but
see, we've got the same mind.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
Down the path. The building is getting closer. This large building looms over you like a living entity. The entrance is set back into the side while the building reaches over you like a pair of vast arms reaching out to grasp you. You approach the doors and they slide open from the center to admit you, like the iris of some great eye or the valve of some enormous circulatory system. It is dark inside, but there is a little bit of light kind of like spilling in from the exterior. You guys head on in?
I would like to make some perception
shine a flashlight in there first.
Yeah, some perception first.
Did we
go ahead.
do anything to open the doors? Or did they just open on their own?
They just opened up on their own.
Yeah, I hate that.
I don't think we're surprising anyone.
25.
I have a 22 perception.
You're looking into the building here, and all you're seeing right now is just kind of walls going off into the distance. You're entering what appears to be kind of like a halled entryway, or I'm sorry, a pillared entryway. You can see a couple of pillars kind of off in the distance, but your light doesn't really penetrate too far into the darkness. But you can see that there's no immediate threats in front of you.
Are there any like control panels near the door or anything? Like something we could manipulate to make sure this stays open?
Nope. Nothing.
Is this actually technological, or is it more like just stone?
It's a mix. You can see that the walls are clearly metal, but there is like sections of stone kind of interspersed throughout. So it looks like wherever this was built, it was built directly into the stone, partially like carved out and then partially built up.
Any symbols or anything right on the wall inscribed on the walls?
Nothing that you're seeing right away. No.
This is Zed's house. Zed's dead.
What happens if I try to step back out through the iris?
Well, you haven't stepped in yet, so nothing.
Okay, never mind.
If you want to step in, you're welcome to.
In.
You'll step in?
I'll go in.
Caliber, Monty, you two have stepped in. Shatter, Scrap Heap?
After you, Shatter.
I'll proceed on foot.
All right. Shatter, you go in. Scrap Heap, you're turning around, heading back, right?
If I see my comrades have no ill effects, I will step in as well.
Yeah, no, nothing.
This is another fine mess you've gotten me into.
Yeah, nothing seems to be happening or anything. So they step over the doorway or over the threshold, and they're still there. You can see them fine.
Fear benefits a bot nothing.
All right, let's get this over with.
All right.
We go in.
Okay, we're now inside this thing?
Now you are, yep. So you step inside, and once the last of you steps in, the door slides closed, leaving you in pitch black. I imagine most of you have some lights kind of built in, either to your alt mode or into your just having like lights that you can use. And you activate all your lights, but they don't shine as far as you expect. The inky darkness kind of clings to you as the shine from your lights just just doesn't go very far into the darkness. And I am going to move all of you onto a new map.
Oh my god, did you figure out a way how to do perspective-based light in this thing?
Yep.
Oh my god, this is so sexy.
Dynamic lighting.
This should happen years ago. This is so good.
I see there, so it looks like there are two paths to the left and the right.
Or is that a pillar in front of us?
I think that's a pillar.
You think it's a pillar, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Love this so much.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Is there anything written on the pillars, like this way to the restroom, this way to aisle 9 for VCRs or something?
Nope. No, there is not.
The last time I saw a pillar, I was wielded by this guy named Storm Shadow, and he just cut that thing down.
Knowledge is power, right?
When did you get your cog fixed, Caliber?
Recently.
Whomever wants to can make a physical science or mysticism check.
I will do a physical science check.
I will do mysticism.
I have a plus 12.
Go
That
for
will
it.
aid physical science.
I got a 22 for physical science.
+2 for physical science.
24.
And I have a 31 mysticism.
Damn. Okay. Physical science first over here. The darkness that's present in this space is it's physical. It's like a physical presence. You move your hand through, and you can actually feel like slight resistance in the air. So you think that the darkness is being created by something. It's like a physical, it's like nanobots, kind of like throughout the space. That is the reason you think that your light and your senses are just not penetrating into the darkness as much as they should.
Mm-hmm. There are secret wisdoms that I gleaned when I was stuck in those caves back on Earth. Like the difference between darkness and shadow. You know, darkness is just the absence of light, but shadow is a relationship.
And Caliber, you know, or you've at least figured out from everything that's going on here, this is not natural. This was created by someone.
Yeah, that creepy feeling that you're feeling is good. That means you're still alive. So.
So if we've got nanobots floating through the air creating this darkness, could this be some form of like scraplet shit that we're gonna get fucked up with?
Scrap will tell you that he doesn't think it's a virus or like an eating you kind of thing. It's more akin to like floating particles that are like absorbing light.
It's like an animate smoke screen.
A little bit, yeah.
Would these nanobots be susceptible to something disruptive like an EMP grenade?
Possibly, but even if it was, it would do it for the area of the grenade. And if this whole building is full of this stuff, it would simply flow back in.
Okay, I got a question. I got one question before you try anything.
Yep.
If I were to get in a fight with Scrap Heap right now, would my attacks be hindered by this mist?
You don't think so.
Okay.
You can feel the resistance, but it's like it feels like an awful strong wind. It's not going to stop you from punching him. Well, not Scrap Heap. You wouldn't get in a fight with Scrap Heap. It'd be Monty, of course, right?
Right. Sure.
So I've never played in a game where I can say this statement in real without a joke, but like, I'm going to attack the darkness with my gravity gun. I want to see if gravity has any effect on this.
I pull out my shield and just huddle behind it.
Go for it. Yeah, give it a shot.
I back up behind Shatter.
What's my dexterity?
Wilting flowers here.
I lean back. I'm like, you smell good, Charles.
An 18.
Yeah, it's more than enough. You shoot your weapon forward. What's the range on the weapon?
60 feet.
It almost looks like it creates like a wake within the darkness, but just like pushing sand aside, it pushes aside for a second or two, and then the particles kind of slide in from the sides to fill in. Yep.
Interesting. Okay, well...
Well, now that you're up here with me, Monty, can you see that what appears to be a door on the left?
Yes. There's one on the right, too, I think.
Yeah, I think so, too.
You guys can kind of move forward a little bit if you want. I'll give you a quick description of this. So as you are walking through the space, your lights going from side to side, you can kind of get a sense of the shape of this entryway. The antechamber is a rectangular room with a row of columns down the middle. It seems to be a mixture of stone and metal. To the left is a door that is cracked open a tiny bit. To the right is a door that is closed. Straight ahead is a larger door that appears to be closed, which is very similar to the iris-shaped door from the entryway. What do you want to do? We can stick with the order I have over here in the turn order, and I'll just kind of start from the top and go down. Caliber, what would you like to do?
In as much as you can just try to do stuff like this, when the darkness envelops me, I'm going to try to communicate with it. Part of my one of my abilities is I inject nanobots. So I'm just curious if maybe there's some sort of relationship that I can glean from that sort of interaction. I have no idea how that would work. Mysticism.
Yeah, let's do a mysticism check. It seems to fit for it.
That's as good as it's gonna get. Nah. So that's a 4 plus 11, so 15.
Yeah, where's your nat 20 this time, right?
Nope.
You attempt to inject some nanobots into the darkness around you. Maybe you kind of gather it all together a little bit to maybe see if you can get a bit of a denser section to inject into it. And you inject them in and try to communicate with it. And what you get back is concerning. You hear chanting, a very low chanting, like a no. It's hard to make out words specifically, but you kind of get the sense of they're as you're thinking about it, you get the sense of death, of decay, of
I heard nom 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 in what you just said, just so you know. And that's pretty terrifying.
Especially considering what you just saw down on the planet there, right? Shatter, what do you want to do over here? It looks like Caliber is talking to the darkness. It looks just bizarre.
Caliber, 10th in his name, did a mysticism check and heard the nanos talking about shit. Do I just... these doors, some are open, some are not, some are cracked. We're a little further in. Do we hear anything just in general? Anything that's different? Anything that it's maybe we should go to this door as opposed to that door?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Ooh, a 9 plus 6 is 15?
15, all right. You listen carefully, and... It does seem like the density of this kind of darkness really is kind of minimizing sound passing through it, because it is like a physical particle. So even when you're hearing your friends talk here, even they're muffled a tiny bit. So you're not hearing anything from the right or forward, but you are picking up a very, very slight, an electrical hum from the left in the cracked door.
I rush towards danger.
I don't know if I don't know how much of this you're going to let me go until you move on to the next person, but
we'll do 1 or 2 actions.
The first thought that came into my mind is that's a generator room for some reason. If I look at the ceiling, is there lighting there that's just not on?
In the antechamber here, or in the next room?
The antechamber.
It's difficult to tell because it's so dark, but you don't see any obvious light fixtures or panels or anything.
They're black lights.
Right. Can I again, stop right now. I've gone too far. Can I put my ear or lean against this cracked door and determine anything?
Sure. So you put your audio receptors up to the door. Nothing new, but the electrical hum does sound a bit more pronounced now.
All right, I share what I have determined with everybody else.
Sounds good. All right, let's jump on to Scrap Heap.
So, do I think that these particles might cause us any physical danger? Like, should I be thinking about, like, are they going inside our systems, or are they not penetrating our bodily structures?
You think that if there is any damage, it's already done. Because, like, these are tiny little particles, and they will find their way into any little gap. So, if they've found their way into your systems, they're already there. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and do a medicine check and just do a quick self-diagnostic, see if there's any ill effects to it.
But I have Picotech armor.
Of course you do.
I have Pico de Gallo check armor.
I am going to do a medicine check then.
Yeah, I hope you would. I gave you the suggestion.
Find it out, okay. All I want to know is that I can find out.
19 self-diagnostic.
All your systems are coming back green. All looks good.
Okay. Can I do another action?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I want to walk up to the door at the end of the room and see if it automatically opens like the previous door did.
Sure.
It's just the back door.
Yeah, so you walk up there and the door opens up. So it opens just like the front door did. Give me a perception check.
Okay. I rolled a 19 plus 8 is 27.
27. All right. What do we got here? So, off in the distance, you see two figures kneeling down on the ground. Probably, it's really like close to the edge of your sight. Probably a good 30 to 40 feet forward. But you can definitely see the outline of two figures in this space.
They're not moving?
They are not moving, no.
I will say I think we've got company further down the chamber. I mean, I don't know if we want to approach them, but I'm just letting everyone know we're not alone in here.
I need you to make a very important stealth check.
Oh boy.
I hate those very important rules.
Okay, here we go. 16.
16. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, you might be okay. I rolled a 4. The two figures in front are not moving. It doesn't seem like they've heard you or heard the door open.
Okay, I want to back away and hope that the door will close right now.
You slowly back up, and yes, the door closes back in the center.
Very quietly, right? It closed
Yes.
very quietly.
Very quietly, yes. All right, Monty.
has discovered supermarket technology.
All right, Monty. You are up. What do you want to do?
Do you guys want me to try to scout to see what's in there, or do you want to check out the side doors first?
Let's check out the side doors.
As the human meat shield, I'll go first if anybody wants me to.
My instinct was to go towards the humming side door, but now that we've actually seen things, I don't know, things are more interesting to me than sounds.
Well, there was a crack in the door. I was going to peek through to see if I could see what's in there.
Go for it. You're not trying to open the door, you're just peeking through?
You said there was a gap, so I'm peeking.
Yep. No, I'm just making certain you're not pushing the door open, you're just looking through the gap.
Just want to know who's getting dressed on the other side of the door.
Shatter, hold me.
Monty, I want you to go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
14.
Oh, that's not a great perception check at all.
Yeah, I only got half of the scouting, the stealth part.
Stupid, Monty.
I can't observe worth shit, you know? It's not a bad modifier, but I always seem to get low on it.
Typical Decepticon fucking up his perception check.
Here, bring your leg over here.
All right, you see something glowing in the middle of the room. Unfortunately, the rest of the room is too dark for you to really see anything, but you do hear that same electronic hum that Shatter, was that you? Yeah, that Shatter had found.
I do have low light vision, which will double the length I can see in whatever light. But I probably not good enough. All right, there's a glowing thing in there, guys.
Go ahead and make a life science check.
Oh boy.
Can you do that?
Theoretically, I am trained. 6.
Looks like a glowy light.
Alright, so, glowy thing. Not much to base decisions on. Or someone was muttering so much about Decepticons over there that it was hard to concentrate.
Let's just take a quick vote then. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to head into the...
Kick Monty into the room?
Of course. Do you want to go into the room with the cracked door? Do you want to head straight into the next main area? Or do you want to explore what's behind closed door number 2? Behind you.
Cracked door. Let's find the shiny.
Cracked door.
Cracked door.
Again, my shield is out. I'm happy for everyone to get behind me and watch me take the brunt of this.
Are you willing to take me?
He opens up his hand.
I jump in.
Dual wielding here, sword and board, huh?
That's right.
All right, here you go. Let me go ahead and open that door for you so you can see a little bit into the space. Monty, you see that light that you had spied from through the gap on there, and all of you can very plainly see that there is some kind of like how do I describe this? It's a 4-foot tall rack containing 3 sparks.
Just floating there?
They're attached to the life support mechanisms of it, but they are disembodied sparks just like on this device.
Ooh.
Is that where the humming is coming from?
Yes.
What color are they?
They are blue. They're the normal color.
Jeez, this is a theme for these guys.
That's disturbing.
Did somebody use a label maker and put the name of who the sparks belong to?
Nope, you don't see any of that. So when you guys go in, this room appears to be a laboratory or a workshop of some kind. In the center of the room is a 4-foot tall rack containing 3 sparks attached to some kind of life support mechanism. Shards of the crystals have been inserted through them and are protruding through the other side.
Wait, is a spark a physical thing? I always just thought it was like electricity or something.
It's like a condensed energy field, but it's not solid. Like you can't just like hold it in your hand kind of thing. It does require a casing of some kind because it is energy. It's energon. It's ephemeral.
So the fact that a physical object is piercing them is, nightmare.
It's horrifying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
These are the weirdo crystals we've encountered before. The dead universe crystals.
Yep. They look like the same ones that you guys found in the catacombs on Cybertron, and it looks like the same ones that are like all throughout this area. The things that big mouth of Mortilus is secreting.
Yikes.
Remember when I had that, you guys fought that thing that was like an elemental that had been like surgically altered, and you're like, wait, how is that even possible? And it's like, oh god. Something is torturing an elemental. It's like, oh, that shouldn't be possible.
All right, I'm going to suggest that Scrap Heap stay by the door in case somebody comes through, and Monty stay by the stairs in case somebody comes through. Or I'll stay by the stairs.
Yeah, you can stay by the stairs. I'll look around.
Yeah, sorry, that was premature of me.
You might need me to investigate this workshop, because I could probably figure out what it is. If maybe...
I think I have to let go of Caliban.
Are those windows on the top?
Yeah, those actually are windows.
Is it raining?
Take a peek outside the window, see what's out there.
I take a look out the window, and you can see down onto the planet a little bit. So, yeah, you're seeing out into space. It's the same kind of view that you had as you are heading towards the building here.
Alrighty.
Are the spark in the center of the room, the spark containment units? Do those look like they are portable, or are they pretty much like bolted to the ground? Like if I tried to remove them, it would probably destroy the sparks.
Give me a medicine check, please.
27.
27. Yeah, it feels like the power to this device is kind of built into the building, and if you just yank it out, it's going to lose power, and the sparks will eventually die. They'll stay alive for a little while, but not a very long time.
Can I try to commune with the sparks? Does it work that way? Like, is the sparks not the soul, right?
Effectively, it is.
It is?
So, yeah, if you want to go ahead and roll up some mysticism, sure.
Yeah. Because I have a feeling this is going to be one of those, like, oh, these things have been tortured for a really long time, and they're just going to be like, kill us! Kill us! You know?
God damn, that was frightening.
So that's a 23.
I imagine you kind of like place your hand over near the spark and try to see if you can like hear its thoughts or try to connect with it on some level.
Yeah.
And much like you expect, the thoughts that you are getting are very jumbled and very incoherent. It does feel like that these sparks have been here for a long time, easily. Maybe a couple of years or so, and probably had this crystal implanted in it, or implanted in them for quite a while. You think that if you're able to like separate it out and maybe reunite it with a body of some kind, it might not be too great. You're not convinced that they're sane at this point. Yeah, I was going to say,
at this point, they just need to be released, not saved. Okay, yeah, that was my instinct, so.
Is there any way would I be able to remove the crystals from the sparks safely?
Yeah. You think you can give it a try? One more medicine check, please.
I was going to say, I don't think safety is really a concern right now.
Can I investigate the rest of the room or workshop, look for clues as to what was going on here, or what kind of experiments were going on here?
Certainly. It looks like this entire room is dedicated to spark extraction. There are tools on tables and on shelves that will help you get like the spark out of a being as safely as possible without damaging it. And a lot of the devices on here seem to be geared towards extraction and preservation of the spark. Preservation for what end, no.
Super cool. I'm going to fold my arms across my chest to protect my spark.
I'm going to reach into one of the crystals and just rip it out of the spark.
Okay.
Like if these things are tortured entities, their souls need to be set to rest, so...
you go ahead and you do that? Is going to intervene. Wait a minute. Wait, before you do that, hold on. Hold on.
Okay, so we got one person doing it, one person intervening. Go ahead and roll initiative, you two. See who gets it done first.
Come on, Charles.
4.
I have a 10.
No!
I mean, you can say no, but like my righteous is
righteous indignation.
Caliber, you go ahead and you put your hand on, grab a hold of one of the crystals.
Mm-hmm.
You yank the thing straight up, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Thanks for listening to this Empire of Rust special. As always, Empire of Rust was conceived, written, and GM'd by Michael Ordway. Patrick Finn played the living weapon, Caliber. Decepticon Vorpal Bunny Monty was played by Matthew G. Yusuf Tanha, better known as Yoshi, was the Autobot powerhouse Shatter. And yours truly, Charles, aka Big C, was that lovable Junkion Scrap Heap. For more adventures with Shatter, check out Yoshi's G1-themed project Transformers Reanimated at transformersreanimated.com. Empire of Rust is part of the Transmissions Podcast Network. For all the latest news in the Transformers multiverse, listen to the Transmissions Podcast at transmissionspodcast.com.